Hello there, this is my V6 M112 engine. It's V6S, so it's very similar to V8 one, which is M113. As you can see, I have already taken off the valve cover because I was trying to replace the gasket. There are a lot of videos out there. I have benefited from them myself, and I thank those guys a lot. But why I'm sharing this is because I broke two things when I tried to remove the cover. I was trying to remove this hose. This is a rubber hose. I mean, it used to be a rubber hose, but I promise you. But now it's a concrete hose because there's no elasticity in this hose anymore. I think it's a very low quality one because it's been only 5 years, and 5 years for a hose in an engine compartment, I think it's not a very big deal. It should last at least 10 years, I think. Because the guy who replaced my valve seals, replaced this one as well. And I think he put something very cheap here. So I don't do that. I never do that. So that mechanic guy did it. So my recommendation is at some point you'll have to remove this hose from here to free this cover and lift it up. But as this has become a concrete, it's almost impossible to remove it from that connection. So when trying to, I just wiggled it a bit, and unfortunately I broke this plastic hose. You see, there was a plastic hose here that goes like this and connects here, and is inserted into this hole. It's a plastic one. It's not a rubber one. You see, these are also plastic. So I broke this branch. You see, I have inserted an outer rubber hose. I'm going to connect them like that until I find I have ordered one. So I couldn't find it here. So I broke it. It's broken. And then I still couldn't remove this. So in the end, I had to say, okay, just let it break. So I broke it. So I broke it and removed it like that. So my recommendation is just cut it. Just cut it so that, cut from here so that it comes on the cover itself, and then you can remove it outside when it's safe. And as you can see, I have covered it with a plastic just to avoid some, dirt falling into it. Now, coming to the cover itself, as you can see, this is the cover itself. Of course, you had to remove this coil packs, and I had to remove, M112 engines are put into a lot of vehicles. So although engines are the same, the surrounding components could be, geometrically different, could be located differently. So I have here a fuel line. So I have to unbolt it, and some fuel came out. I just dried there with some towel. So I unbolted, so that there are 9 bolts there. I unbolted, and it wasn't a very big, task to do that. So, as you know, there is one more cover on it. This is the breather cover. So it's a good idea once you have this out. It's a good idea to reseal it. So and there is no gasket for this. So you have to use a gasket maker in RTV silicon, which withstands very high temperatures, like 300 degrees. So and taking this off on the engine, outside the engine, is very difficult. It doesn't matter because it's glued to there so badly, and you don't have much handles to hold on to. And as this is an aluminum part, you have to be very careful. You don't want to use any metal prying tools because it's very brittle. You can't break something, and you don't want to break your valve cover, do you? So what I did was, because I had an experience in the right side, what I did is I, took a blade and inserted into these grooves where the silicon itself is, and I tried to, the blade is very, very thin, and it can get into it, and I just, try to cut as much silicon as possible. So, cutting it makes it weaker, weaker, and weaker. So I cut a lot. I try to cut around the perimeter because otherwise, it's very hard. Don't try to, grab and, pull from this part. Don't try to, grab from here. This can easily be broken. And make sure that you take care of, you see these 2 long bolt spots? Make sure you don't break them. So you need to be very careful. So what I did, as I told you, I just cut as much silicon as possible, and then as I cut, I try to insert a prying tool, plastic prying tool, in between those lips, and finally, it took maybe more than 20 minutes, maybe in a half an hour. So I finally took it off. I don't know what Mercedes-Benz guys use to take that cover off. I don't know what they do. Of course, I heated it with the heat gun, but it didn't help a lot. So this is my way of taking the cover off. If you have any other ideas, if you have done it yourself, maybe you can share your ideas in the comments. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for your time.